It's ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the hour at 8 with me, Sabena Izuku. The police in Nasarawa said on Saturday that some gunmen have assassinated the head driver of Governor Umaru Al-Makura, Abdullahi Maruwa. Police Public Relations Officer in the state, Ismaila Numan, confirmed the incident in Lafia. He said the victim was traveling with his wife from Lafia to Nkan local government area on Saturday morning when they were attacked by some gunmen at Tundu Adabu village in Obi local government area of the state. Newman said detectives had been deployed to investigate the killings. CoreTV News learned that gunmen had told the victim's wife not to panic as they were sent to her husband alone, whom they shot twice in the chest. The remains of Maruwa were taken to Kiana and buried according to Islamic rites. Another Nigerian army on Saturday released another 125 persons arrested for allegedly having links with the Boko Haram. The development follows an earlier release of 42 persons who were investigated and found to be having no link with the fundamentalist group. The 42 persons were released on Thursday to Governor Kashim Shettima. Handling over the new set of 125 persons to the Borno State Governor, the spokesman of the 7th Division of the Nigerian Army in Maiduguri, Sani Usman, said 254 persons were intercepted fleeing from the state after attack on Boko Haram strongholds in September. He said the arrest was made in Biu on 23rd of September, and after proper investigation, 125 men now handed to the governor were found to have no link with the Boko Haram. Despite the controversy on the interpretation on Friday's court ruling, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, says he remains the Speaker. Tambuwal, who was speaking in Kaduna State on the sidelines of an All-Progressive Congress Northwest stakeholders meeting, added that his fate is in the hands of God. The Speaker is convinced that a majority of members of the House are behind him and advised Nigerians to ignore what are termed wrong information. On the court's position, Tambuwal insists that his counsel, Lateef Fagbemi, was right in saying that the status quo referred to a period before his security details were withdrawn. He added that any attempt to alter it amounts to contempt of court. Lagosians have for the third day running anyway, expressed disappointment at INEC over the poor handling of the distribution of permanent voters' card in the state. They described the process as cumbersome in centres where officials of the electoral body were noticed and decried their absence in other centres. Tayo Alo brought back this report.
While these Lagosians are glad to have finally received their permanent voter cards, this man is not pleased with the situation of things in his ward.
This is not a party affair, it's INEC affair. I am not interested whether it's PDP or AC or PRP, I'm not interested. I want to start a franchise.
According to these eligible voters, the process of first looking for their names on the list and then waiting for the INEC officials to look for the cards before issuance is stressful and capable of discouraging large turnout.
This list pasted on the wall is numbered. The cards should be numbered, should be arranged in that order, so that when people come, instead of this rowdiness you are seeing here, they ask of your number that you see on the pasted names. Then they go, just like in the universities, they go straight to where the number is. So people will not be, crowded as it is like this.
Majority of people, they have lost their voters card. Eventually, they are waiting for form to fill and attach their passport photograph in order to collect their original voters card. That was the reason why the crowd is much. Had it been the form is available, and a lot of people are requesting for the form to make photocopy. So, but they were saying the form is not available. That was the reason why the crowd is much.
There were also complaints on the late arrival of the INEC officials and absence of orders in some areas visited by CoreTV News.
Unfortunately, these people, they are not yet here, they are absent. But yesterday they are here, they brought all the lists, all the documents. But today, they said there is mistake on the computer. So that's why they are absent yesterday, so we don't know what to do.
A Lagos House of Assembly aspirant, Adedamola Kasamo, recounts his experience and called on INEC to put its house in order.
People are crying. People are worried about the future of this country. And you are depressing people. You are discouraging people by giving them this kind of attitude, because they would not even be encouraged to do anything come 2015. And that is the only way we can move the country forward. If we cooperate amongst each other, then we will move the country forward. But if the cooperation does not even come from the top, how would we expect to work with the people?
The promise made by the Lagos Resident Electoral Commissioner Adekunle Ogunmola that the electoral body will step up its game, having admitted the flaws of the day one of the process, appears an empty promise going by the experiences encountered on the second day of the exercise. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Away from that, a chieftain of the Nigerian leading opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, has decried the shoddy performance by INEC concerning the distribution of the permanent voters card in Lagos as a plot to rig the 2015 general elections by the PDP. Tinubu spoke against the backdrop of mounting complaints that had greeted the exercise in Lagos. Once again, Omotayo Alo has the story.
Expressing his displeasure at what he termed the failed exercise, Tinubu accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of deliberately frustrating Lagosians.
We consider it as a dry run, a rigging exercise practiced. INEC has colluded with the presidency, the opposing party, to rig this election from the data to the end.
When asked of the party's next line of action if the exercise continues in its current stride, the APC national leader says the party members will not watch endlessly and fold their hands.
What we are driving at is a rigging mechanism that is going to blow right in their face. But we will report this matter to the national body of the party, of which I am a member, and they will be hearing from us. But we will protect the right of Lagosians to vote by all means.
It was obvious from Tinubu and all the party leaders gathered at the Lagos APC Secretariat that there is more that meets the eye as far as the conduct of the exercise is concerned. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The governor of Osun State, Raphael Gboshola, says regular tax payment by Nigerians will ensure an all-round distribution of dividends of democracy to the people and save the country from economic misfortune occasioned by the current drop in the global price of crude oil. He made this known at the launch of an electronic tax clearance certificate and a new easy tax regime targeted at artisans in the state. Rashid completes the rest of the story.
Tax payment is old as man himself, and successive governments have devised various ways in the collection of tax. The integrated system of tax collection aimed at solving knotty issues surrounding it has become the order of the day. Hence, the introduction of the electronic tax clearance certificate system by the Osun State government. Gboshola, who lamented the dwindling nature of federal allocations and the downward slide in the global price of crude oil with its attendant effect on the Nigerian economy, says tax payment is the only bailout left for any government yearning to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people.
It's the only way out. It's not expediency. It's the only way out. Without the citizens paying taxes, there can't be a government. The only way a modern government and society can be run is through prompt payment of taxes.
Chairman of the Osun Internal Revenue Service, Dayo Oyebanji, revealed reasons behind the introduction of the electronic card.
The first instance, the tax certificates and evidence of tax payment, but we noticed there are several issues with that. One, people are not aware that they need to collect tax certificate when they have paid taxes. Number two, when they collect certificate, it's usually manual, paper. And paper, we know that it can be abused. But for the electronic tax certificates, we know the opportunity that every year in, year out, you don't need to collect another certificate.
The Osun State government also introduced a 4,500 naira per annum tax system for artisans who meet the required conditions. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, CoreTV News on the Hour continues. Do stay with us.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on a social media platform on facebook.com/CoreTV News. And better still on our Twitter @CoreTV News NG, on our YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, with a space and the news. Now turning attention to Kano State, where homosexuals and rapists in Kano risk a minimum jail term of 14 years. They are also liable to a maximum of life imprisonment if found guilty. This is based on the new bill signed into law by Governor Rabi Kwakwaso. The head of the Hishbal board, Abba Sofi, told CoreTV News that his men are already prepared to ensure the implementation of the new law.
Security personnel, according to the law that established the board, we are supposed to work with police, with all the security agencies in the state, as well as protecting our religious culture in the state. So during every festivities, we send our corps to attend these activities. In every ward, we have not less than 15 Hizbah corps who are indigents of that ward. They do report and observe the activities going on in each of their wards. During the Eid festivities, our corps on duty in one of the local governments arrested somebody raping an underage girl during that he has induced the little girl with a little amount of money. Our corps, under our routine, when we arrest somebody of that nature, we hand him over to the police for proper prosecution, and we used to go there as witness so that we will get conviction in that case. Because of the rampant cases of rape we used to have in the state, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Dr. Rabi Musa Konkoso, has ordered the State Assembly to review all laws that are supposed to be with rape cases. He has ordered them that the punishment given now is not enough. That is why maybe we used to have so many rampant rape cases in the state. So the State Assembly are presently reviewing all the laws that involve rape cases. We are sure when the laws are reviewed, these cases will definitely drop, because it will serve as a deterrent to others, because the punishment is going to be harsher than what is obtained before. The rapists will be arraigned by proper court of law, and they will be charged according to the state penal code or state Sharia laws, that they will be punished for sexual assault.
The new law has also received the backing of lawyers in the state. One of the lawyers, Priscilla Enoch, told CoreTV News that the development is overdue.
And under Section 31, it says that having a sexual knowledge or a carnal knowledge of a child is an offense. And that since she's not even an adult, the law says it is graded up to the offense of rape. Moving down the section, it says that it is punishable for life. In fact, the Child Rights Act emphasizes the fact that even if you obtain the consent of that child, it is rape ab initio, because she's a minor and incapable of making right choices for herself. It is immaterial if such an offender saw the girl and she looked older than 18. And he said, oh, I was mistaken, I didn't know she was 18. It is irrelevant. The law says we treat it as rape, and upon conviction, it is life imprisonment. We come down to the penal code. It provides for rape too. When you go to section 282 of the penal code, it defines rape as an unlawful carnal knowledge of the woman without her consent, with her consent if she gave her consent out of duress. If she gave her consent because lack of it may lead to her death, it is rape. So the person who trains a gun at a woman, for example, in an attempt to commit rape, and says no, she consented to it, the law says it is rape. Because it was for fear of fault, of harm, of likelihood of death that she submitted.
Radiologists in Nigeria say provision of adequate equipment will stem the tide of medical tourism and also help in transforming the health sector. The president of the Association of the Radiologists of Nigeria, Val Onya, however, consists that inadequate power supply is one factor militating against practitioners. He spoke at an event commemorating the International Day of Radiology in Abuja.
Radiologists in Nigeria are professionals in the field, cannot do it alone. We will require a lot of assistance from the government and other stakeholders. We have professional capacity to provide optimal radiological services, but we do have problems with the enabling environment, infrastructure, training, resources such as power and policies. The government is not to be fully involved in the initiation and implementation of policies that have to do with the profession and provision of services. That was one of the reasons why IRIN has come to stay. We have to create more awareness about radiology and its importance in our environment. That is why we have to celebrate International Radiology Day with the rest of the world. We need to come out of the shadows of background and try to be more visible. We need to make more advocacies to influence policies. We need to reach out to government in any way we can and tell the government what we need, what we can do for them, and what they can do for us. One of the things we are doing now, we're kind of adding this as an advocacy thing. The government needs to support us in terms of providing the enabling environment, infrastructure, training, resources, and policies for practice, and see what we can do. Health policies, apart from the focus on maternal and public health, should also look at what we radiologists can do or add to their daily medicine.
We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll take you outside Nigeria. To stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. In North Korea, 2 Americans were being held in detention. The Matthew Todd Miller and Kenneth Bai have been released. The release follows that of the 3rd American, Geoffrey Fowley, last month. The U.S. had accused North Korea of using the detained Americans as pawns in a diplomatic game, a charge North Koreans had denied. The U.S. Department of State said in a statement that it welcomes the release from the DPRK, where they were held for 2 weeks and 7 months. Miller, 24, had been sentenced to 6 years hard labor in September for what North Korean state media described as hostile acts. He had been in custody since the 10th of April. According to North Korean sources, it has destroyed his tourist visa and demanded asylum. Bai had been arrested in November 2012 as he entered the northeastern port city of Ransan, a special economic zone near North Korea's border with China. He has been described as both a tour operator and Christian missionary. North Korea said he used his tourism business to form groups to overthrow the government. He was sentenced to 15 years hard labor in May 2013. And that's it on the news on the hour. Do join us at the top of the hour for more. I am Savannah.